This is Boxing Tickets and I in association with SB Sports Chaco. We're here at Pete Taylor's gym. We're delighted to be joined with the one and only Cully.
How are you, Pat?
All is fantastic. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Training's going well, so yeah, couldn't be happier.
We were watching you obviously through the windows a few times. We're not obviously giving it away to Miguel Vazquez, but you were obviously looking very frightened there today in the gym.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Of good 3 or 4 weeks sparring behind me. We're just back from UK last week, so obviously I was due to fight on February 11th. So that will be next Friday. So I'm feeling sharp and feeling ready to go for that. So yeah, I'm going to be not ready for March 12th, ready for March 12th.
Yeah, you're getting an extra few weeks of training in there as well. It's obviously going to be crucial. You know, you're fighting Miguel Vazquez, who is a former world champion in himself as well. Is this probably, I know we're just past 2 years from obviously your fight with Joe Fitzpatrick, and sort of said it was the announcement of Cully to sort of the world stage. Would you sort of share that? I know you've always believed in yourself and everything else. You know, the Joe Fitzpatrick fight to you wasn't a 50-50 in the way it was sort of seen. Are you sort of now realising that sort of people's getting behind you and they believe what you're saying off the back of what happened with Joe?
Yeah, look, I kind of knew that was always going to be the case. Obviously with the Fitzpatrick fight, I suppose people were right to call it a 50-50 as I hadn't proved myself much yet. I knew in my head it wasn't a 50-50. But yeah, people hadn't seen that from me yet. So then when they seen that, and then obviously the year after fighting Cully, which was another 50-50, and I knew it wasn't a 50-50 again. So people are starting to see that, and starting to see the talent that we have, and they're starting to believe what I'm saying. I don't believe this Vazquez fight was a 50-50 either. And I believe I'll show that on March 12th as well. I think I'm ready to step up with the top lightweights in the world, and that's what I'm looking for.
And I think when people look at Vazquez's record, he's 10 defeats, but I think he's actually only, and I'll obviously thank Joe O'Neill from Irish Boxing for this one, I think he's only had 1 defeat at lightweight. But when you look at fighters he's fought with, I'm sure you probably maybe don't realise he fought Canelo at Super Welter.
Yeah,
you know, he's fought Canelo, Josh Taylor, Timothy Bradley. It's probably a good yardstick for you to obviously say, you know, Miguel Vazquez, and obviously for you to make a statement. I think he's only been stopped once and retired once. So if you'd make a statement and stop him in Nottingham, you know, your exposure will probably go through 10 times go through the roof 10 times over again.
Of course, that's the plan. He's been around, he's been there, done it. He's a former world champion, like you said, you know what I mean? He's no mug. He didn't just win a world title and then lose it in his first defence. I think he defended it 8 times, held it for like 3 to 4 years, so he's no mug. It's the type of fight that I need. I believe it's the perfect fight for me at this stage in my career, and the perfect stage to be on now, and to get it shown on the zone on this massive card would be hunting for a world title. The Irish are going to be loud in Nottingham that night, and I'm really looking forward to it. I believe that March 12th is the real start of my career. We've built behind the scenes and built nice and slowly for the past 4 years since I've turned pro. Had 2 hand injuries which kept me out for a bit as well, so maybe it could be a little bit further on in my career, but like I said, this is the perfect fight in the perfect stage at the perfect time. Everything's just falling into place now, and yeah, this is going to be a big performance on March 12th.
This is a big sort of statement for you as well, because you've obviously fought in the SSE very early on in cards. Probably people wouldn't have seen you probably at that stage. I remember sort of saying to you after fights, going, Gary, do you really just saying boom and bang, and you're going, what are you talking about? People weren't seeing you obviously early stages fighting in the SSE at the very start of cards. Now you're obviously going to be fighting, I think, probably Chief Support, Dave Mick and Lee as well, and probably a full 9,000 in Nottingham Arena. This is obviously the nights you've been dreaming of, obviously when you're very young.
Yeah, 100%. This is what dreams are made of. Like I have dreams of becoming a world champion and being involved in massive fights across the world, in America and wherever else. But starting out, like, these are the type of things that you dream of, walking out in a full arena to 5,000 plus screaming Irish fans. It's going to be crazy. So I will realise a dream and fulfil a dream on March 12th. But that's not really what it's about for me. March 12th, I'm focused on handling business first and foremost, and like I said, I'm looking forward to a big performance.
But the ideal scenario, I guess, obviously is to impress Eddie Hearn and obviously get signed to match him and be on the zone constantly, or just focus on Vazquez and whatever happens afterwards happens.
Yeah, like I know my style is entertaining, I know my style is exciting. That's what I try and bring to the table. I want people to sell in this game, and to be involved in the biggest fights, you have to be able to sell, and you have to be able to, people want to watch it. So that's what I think my style brings, and first and foremost is to get in and beat Miguel Vazquez any way possible. But I believe by doing that in the style of boxing, it's going to be exciting, it's going to be entertaining, it's going to catch some eyes, and yeah, for sure. I've been calling Eddie's name since, like you said, that at them SSE shows fighting at 4 o'clock. I remember calling Eddie at that stage, saying, "Come down and watch me. I'm opening the show. Come down and see me opening the show." And like, now we're here. It's either chief support or close to the top of the card. And yeah, the arena's going to be full, and it's just going to be crazy on the night.
Do you think you give Matchroom a sort of headache in the fact that whenever they look at obviously fights with Joe and Victor Kochetov, do you think they probably look at that and go, can we really have you as chief support if you're going to put on a performance and spark Vazquez out and around? Is that ideally they sort of look at something that's going to be a close fight, 10 to 12 rounds? You might be obviously a matchmaker's disaster sort of in a way to go, and well, we don't know what we're going to expect from Gary Cully.
Yeah, well, maybe so, and I think that's been the way because I've kind of had to take big steps at big stages as well. Like the Fitzpatrick fight, the Joe fight, people said both of us didn't have to take it at that stage. I think I was 9-0, he was 10-0, or the other way around, and we both could have possibly built a couple of fights more, and yeah, built our careers a little bit further, but we took that fight, that was a big step, and then I had one more fight and then jumped into the WBO European against Kotachikov, who was 12-1 at the time. Didn't probably have to do that either. Stepped up, won that in spectacular fashion. So this fight, I probably didn't have to take it at this stage, but like I said, I want to be involved in the biggest fights, the big names, the bright lights, and that's the type of fight that Miguel Vazquez is, and that leads from that as well. So this is just a stepping stone to get me to World Title Eliminators and then World Title fights. So, yeah.
Is it hard, I guess, to sort of focus on people at the top of the lightweight division? Obviously we've seen the change in boxing. Obviously you have George Kambosos sort of came and ripped the form book up. You had Lopez had done it previously, Lomachenko. It's sort of probably, it's building in this ideal scenario for you, where obviously you get thrown into a fight and you're going, well now I've got 3 of the belts. You know, is that the sort of scenario you want to have, where you miss just fighting for 1 world title, but you could potentially fight for 3 in the one fight?
Yeah, I think with the division I'm in at the moment, it's great because one person holds all the belts, like you said. So possibly if he fights Haney next, if Haney wins them, if whoever wins them at this stage right now holds all the belts, so you get yourself in that position. Maybe it's a little bit harder to get yourself in with a shot, because if there's 4 belts, there's 4 chances. If there's only one person holding all the belts, you have to get to that one person. But I believe it's only a matter of time before I get there. And I mentioned now we have 5. We've Garcia, Gervonta Davis, Teofimo, Lopez, Kambosos, and Loma. Maybe Lopez is moving up. Then we have Cruz's, Comey's, all these sort of names as well, Maxi Hughes. So I believe it's only a matter of time. There's probably 10 big names there, and I want to be involved with them names in the big fights and right fights. Yeah.
Do you look at probably, I know it's sort of gone back a wee bit, but do you sort of look at maybe what was happening with Carl Frampton before obviously the Leo Santa Cruz and Scott Quigg fight? They wouldn't fight him because there's too much danger. For any other lightweight sort of looking at you and going at your size, like you imagine you with Lomachenko, you know, it's like step ladder sort of thing from the reach, but like you have to be feared by them at the fact that you're too high risk for them for the reward they're getting. Do you sort of maybe have to look at a stage of going, I need to have to look bad in a fight to get a bigger fight?
I think I am a very high risk, low reward maybe at the moment, but that's why I'm taking these big step ups, because I'm probably hard to match. But as I'm taking the big step ups, I'm stepping from I took Kotachikov, Simeon, now I'm stepping up to Vazquez. I think that kind of puts you in the position where they can't really overlook you anymore. And then it's only going to be a matter of time before I'm in a mandatory position where it's fight me or else vacate the belt. So yeah, I think it's only a matter of time. I probably am being not avoided by the big names at the moment. Obviously they're all involved in the big 5 at the minute, but once I get my name in around them, I can't see many people wanting to fight a 6'2" lightweight that can punch, you know what I mean? So I probably will have to start forcing myself into mandatory positions, but that's the plan, to be ranked up there and start forcing my way into these shots.
It's easier to motivate yourself, I guess, the bigger the fight. Probably, you know, when you're sort of thinking there and getting yourself in the position, you know, probably not looking too far ahead of Vazquez because it's one fight at a time, but probably, I guess, another good milestone for you to set yourself, because it's a former world champion, probably the likes of Lee Selby. But I guess it's probably as a high risk, low reward sort of thing for him as well. But if he wants to fight for world title again, he probably has to fight someone like you to get there.
Yeah, possibly. He's, I think, got an IBF eliminator lineup next, so he'll be IBF mandatory if he wins that. I'm looking going WBA. I'm ranked highly with the WBO. I'm in the top 10 as well, so I'm looking at going one of them routes. But possibly down the line we both get world titles, and we can make a big fight in either Ireland or the UK to unify them. That would be a great fight. But yeah, look, if it pops up before that, I want to fight anybody who's going to put me in contention to fight for a world title, to win a world title, or to unify a world title. So if that happens to be Lee Selby or somebody else, whoever it is, I'm prepared to fight. Yeah.
Fantastic. And finally, 'cause we know it's Friday and obviously you have a weekend. Not that it's going to change much because you're in fight mode.
You go home and get lunch, you go to the second session. It's no change.
Never changes. But obviously looking forward to March 12th. You know, probably not putting you in the spot too much. But what's going to happen? You're going to stop Miguel Vazquez?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be a big test for me. I think he's going to show me a lot that I probably haven't seen before. But I believe I'm ready for this. I believe it's my time, and I don't think he's going to be able to handle what I have on March 12th. I believe I'm too young, too fresh, too hungry, and he hasn't trained as hard. He's not as hungry as I am. I can guarantee you that. So he's been there, he's done it, he's got all the experience, but he's not as hungry as I am. I'm going one way and that's up. And yeah, I'm coming to take his head off on March 12th.
Fantastic. Well, listen, Gary, thanks very much for tuning in. I'm going to look forward to being there ringside to watch you in Nottingham.
Thank you very much, Pat.
Cheers, take care.